right, welcome to this video. My name is Emily. I'm so happy to have you here. I've never done anything like this before, except I've filmed a few, mini vlogs for myself and my close friends before, but I've never done a sit-down video like this. And, I don't know if this is a start of something new or if this is just me having fun, but if you're here, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you'll enjoy some of the fun topics we talk about today. And today this content is really just curated by myself. I just thought of a few questions that I'd have fun answering, and I'd love if you guys are interested in being engaged at all in my first video to leave comments below in the comments section or to DM me any questions that you'd want me to answer. I feel like I've been through various types of things in my life and had, all sorts of experiences, and I don't want to get that deep today, so maybe later on in the future, but if you have anything niche that you're interested in or know maybe that I've been through, please leave any questions or comments down below. I know that a lot of influencers or people who are wanting to get into the online space don't appreciate the hateful comments a lot, and so I am anticipating that I could get not great comments. I feel like for anyone who puts their opinions or talks online, anything could happen in that comment section. So I, by nature, am a people pleaser, but I think over a few adult years of experience, I think I've learned to not take too much of that noise into consideration. So even if there are negative comments down there, whatever. You gotta just do you and go through your life the best way that you can. Now, by way of a quick introduction, again, I don't want this video to just all be about who I am and what I've gone through and what I've done in my life, but just so you have a little bit of context of who I am while you're watching this. My name is Emily again, and I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. I went to collegiate school from K through 12, go Cougars, and then I went to Princeton, graduated in 2022, go Tigers, and then I moved to New York, worked there for a few years, and I'm actually now back in Princeton where we still have a good amount of community. And I'm also married to David, who I met at Princeton. So that's just a little bit about me. I don't think there's anything else I want to cover. I guess I'll give a little bit of context about my current environment and my surroundings. Or just, you can tell I have wet hair. I got out of the shower. I did get this new shirt. It's not necessarily the most flattering on me. I don't think I would have picked it a few years ago, but it was on sale at the in-person location of Princess Polly at King of Prussia, which is in Pennsylvania, which I can do a whole video about that because I had a field day there. It was so much fun. I got this. It's super comfy, just a great at-home loungewear, I say as I'm filming this video. So it's basically like I wore this out in public. I just thought I don't need to dress up and put on all this makeup for this video. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be genuine. And you can be authentic and genuine when you're dolled up as well, but just thought I'd start this first video off in a very low-key way. This is what I'm wearing. And then I actually do have an interesting beverage. Ta-da! So essentially it's like a strawberry lime cooler. So what I did was I blended together frozen strawberries. I added squeezes of just like a half a lime. I probably should have done a full lime, but I just wanted to keep more lime for other recipes that I'll make later this week. And then what did I do? I blended that together. I added honey and blended that together. You kind of have to add a little bit of water, or else it just gets all slushed and my NutriBullet isn't all that powerful. So you kind of need to add some liquid. And then to top it off, I added some sparkling water. It's like dragon fruit berry sparkling water, so it kind of goes well. And there you have it. It's very refreshing. Today wasn't super humid and hot. It was actually has been very, very moderate and wonderful, but the sun's been out, so it's been kind of toasty, which is, I feel like in the summer when it's hot. And I was outside for a while today, so you kind of have to take a lot of midday showers in the summer because if you come back inside, you're just all gross and sticky. But anyways, in our apartment here in Princeton, recording this, and the pool just opened in our community, which is fun, over Memorial Day weekend, and I think there are a couple people out there now, so that's really fun. Brings up the vibes. So let's get into some of these fun questions. Like, again, I want to keep it light and simple and fun, and laugh along. I hope maybe you'll agree with me on some things, maybe not. But I just have a couple categories of questions that I set for myself just to guide me along a bit. Maybe one day if I have a co-host or a friend to, converse with, it might be a little bit more natural. But here I am by myself, so got to start somewhere, right? So my first topic category would be travel. So I love traveling. I've traveled a lot growing up with my family and then have continued to travel a lot in my adult life. Not as much as I want because obviously as an adult you have a lot of obligations. But you think about, how can I make my work around travel? Can I be a travel influencer? Like, that would be the dream, right? One of my questions later on actually kind of gets into my thoughts about that. But for now, I love traveling. I don't travel as often as I would like, but I've traveled to some pretty neat places. So first question, favorite place I've ever visited? I'm going to have a tie. I know that's a cop-out, but I have to say it. So my tie is between Switzerland and Sardinia, Italy. So kind of similar vibes in some senses, like blue vibes, but Switzerland, I went in 2022 after I graduated with a few of my friends, and it was a Europe trip, and Switzerland was one of the stops. And I had just never been to anywhere like Switzerland before. Like, it was so clean. It was so serene. It just felt like the closest place to heaven on earth that exists. I think it's just like, and it's different from like beach, right? Beach clear waters. It was like something about like glacier waters in the mountains and the trees and all the beautiful houses like scattered throughout the mountains, the snowy caps. I think also culturally, right? Like, everyone's actually a lot more quiet there compared to a lot of other countries in Europe. Almost a little too quiet. I think one of my friends studied abroad there, and I think we were just talking about how it's harder to maybe have community in a place like Switzerland. Like, you're not necessarily reaching out as much to strangers or trying to find similarities with random people. Like, you kind of maybe keep to yourself a little bit more. If any of you guys associate yourselves with Switzerland and disagree with me, I'd love to be disagreed with because I obviously don't know Switzerland very well. But it was just a culture mixed with landscape that I had never really experienced before. And it was just, it was really beautiful. I just remember being on the boat and looking out and being like, this is like pinch me because this does not feel real. And there are like cows in the mountains and stuff like that. And obviously the company was great too. My friends, we had a lot to talk about. We had a lot of giggles, a lot of funny things happened. I think we vlogged a couple of moments too, and there were funny moments. So it's always great to travel with friends or significant other because that can make it fun. But shout out to you solo travelers too, because kudos to you. That takes a lot of courage. And then Sardinia. So Sardinia was one of the places we went to on our honeymoon. And similarly, I had never really been to a place like that before, like just how beautiful it was. I'd like to say that like we were a trendsetter because I feel like a lot more people are going to Sardinia now. So this was in 2024, our honeymoon. But yeah, like back then, and maybe a lot of people do know what Sardinia is, but like I feel like I would tell people, "Oh, we're going to Sardinia," and they'd be like, "Where's that again?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's in Italy. It's in the Mediterranean, right south of Corsica." And but I just feel like it's like a little bit less known, or maybe not a lot of people go there on their honeymoon. More people go to places like, Greece or something like that, and which we considered. But I just felt like I had seen so many photos and videos of Greece that like I felt like I had been there myself already. So I wanted something with like a little bit more mystery, but then also like had enough like tourist resources that I didn't, we weren't kind of having to plan out a lot and like hike through the mountains or anything, or find our own accommodations. Like we wanted to have like also some easy pool beach type stuff. And so Sardinia was just like so beautiful. Again, the culture, it just felt very local, like not super commercialized. The locals were so excited to meet you and like ask about your life. And they also like love where they live. They love their island. And so like they will give you all the tips and tell you all the right food and restaurants to eat and places of the island to explore. And it's also like such a big island too. Like we should probably go back at some point. I think we landed in Olbia, and then we were mostly on the north and northeast coast of Sardinia, but I think they also have like the southern and west coast is also just like so beautiful, but you kind of have to choose one. And yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, they have like nightlife and stuff, like clubs. We didn't really do any of that. But yeah, so it's kind of like choose your own adventure, like a lot of hikers too, a lot of great hiking spots. I know there are beaches that you can't get to unless you hike. So go hikers, because then those are exclusive beaches for you, exclusive access. But anyways, it was just a really fun trip and just perfect to relax. But then we also like rented a car for a day and were able to get to some of the more like remote beaches. Just incredibly stunning. The water, like that type of clear water, like it was this like gradient from just absolutely clear to more and more like deep blue as you get further out into the ocean, and it was like sparkling. So like some of the Caribbean water, it's just like light blue, which is also really pretty, but everything's just monochromatic, like one huge expanse of light blue. But in Sardinia, it's like clear, like absolutely clear, like just tap water. That makes it sound not very luxurious, but just like water, clear water, and then it just becomes more and more turquoise and deep blue, and it's just so beautiful. There are also a lot of yachts and a lot of like luxury living areas too, that are cool to see. And but yeah, it was definitely a once in a lifetime experience. So as you can tell, I like to explain a lot and storytell a lot, but that's that question. Next question is, what is overrated about traveling? So this is actually interesting because I just gushed on and on about how much I love traveling. But at the same time, and I think maybe this is what's prevented me from traveling as often as maybe I thought I would, or compared to my level of love for traveling, like I should be traveling more. I think what's kept me a little bit back from that is that I'm also a homebody, and also it depends on your mindset too, right? Like working in the corporate world, you can very easily just look forward to your next PTO and just live your life craving the vacation. And so that vacation becomes, your time to like actually be free and actually live your life. And so that's one problem I find. Like maybe that you're stuck in that, that's part of working a 9 to 5. Like there is obligation to making money and putting food on your table. That's a whole longer conversation. But I find that really hard. Like if vacation is the only time you find peace and you're looking forward to it, like I find it really important to find peace in your day-to-day life, and not just be looking forward to the next vacation, the next PTO. At the same time too, I feel like travel influencers love what they do, but also they can get really tired and they miss having a home base. Or I don't think necessarily they get tired of, seeing amazing things. Like maybe someone who travels once a year would have would see the same place as a travel influencer and get a bigger experience because they've just been dying to see it. And a travel influencer, it's just like another spot off their list. But I don't know what it's like to be a travel influencer, so I don't know. But I just feel like if I were one, I would probably be tired and I might start taking traveling for granted. When, yeah, like maybe my norm should just be being a homebody because that is what I love. And then with each trip, just really taking it in and being able to like hone in on what makes me grateful to be there and what beautiful wonders. And I love photography too and taking that in. But I think if I were churning out that content and just chasing the next beautiful spot, like it might, at least for myself, get a little bit dull, or I think I would have the temptation to kind of start taking that for granted. But who knows? I don't know anything. Feel free to disagree. That's just some of my thoughts. Third, favorite road trip memory. So this is easy because I haven't taken many road trips in my life, but definitely the road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway in California. So last year we went to a friend's wedding in the San Francisco area, Menlo Park, and then we ended up renting a car and staying over there for about a week, and we just drove along the coast, but we only went as far as Big Sur, but we hit, Santa Cruz, Carmel by the Sea, Monterey, and it was just, like, I talk about Europe a lot, I love Italy, but I have to say, like, California feels like there are just untapped, like, magical wonders over there, and I mean, I know a lot of people have been there and have talked about it, but it's just not as, like, touristy or commercialized as a lot of other beautiful beaches and cliffs and stuff. And so that's just really interesting to me. I think maybe a lot of it is protected by the state, like wildlife areas and stuff. But it was just absolutely beautiful. And then actually here in a few weeks, we're going to do the same thing. It was funny. We're just picking a place to travel and we're like, we just loved our trip last year. Like, why don't we just do it again? Like, normalize going back to the same place that you loved a second time. Like, yes, life is short. You want to hit all of the new places, but like, also life is short. Why not re-enjoy the same places and find and discover new little trinkets and pockets in that same road trip? But also we are extending it. Like, we're going from San Francisco all the way to San Diego, which I've never been to San Diego before. I've been to LA. David's never been to LA, but we're just going to do that whole drive over the course of a week. And we are just super stoked about it. It's just absolutely beautiful. The crashing waves, the moderate weather. We all talk about how much we want to move to California, right? So, but yeah, we are East Coasties. I don't know if we would ever move to California, ? Okay, let's get into a lifestyle category. I've put down so many questions, I need to choose them, so this video isn't too long. Let's see. Guilty pleasure TV show. I mean, this really isn't guilty pleasure, but I'll just pick some TV shows that I have watched many times or will replay for the sake of vibes in the background. One of them is Gilmore Girls. I think, like, definitely in the autumn season, it gives you the cozy vibes like no other. It's just absolutely crazy. I'm sure a lot of you share the same sentiment, but even like in any other season, like when you're going through a hard time or you just want to, cozy up and feel safe, like this is just one of the little ways that, like, I can feel like I can just snuggle up and watch something that I already know what the conclusion of the plot is, but I can just watch it for fun. And yeah, I just love the small town vibes, and all the family dynamics are really interesting, friend dynamics. So I don't have to over explain this one. I'm sure a lot of people agree. I think New Girl 2 is also, not New Girl number 2, New Girl 2 is a guilty pleasure TV show just because it's really funny. Like, I think Schmidt and Winston are like super funny. So like in terms of inside jokes, or not inside jokes, but just jokes, I love New Girl to make me laugh. I think it's just absolutely hilarious. And then this one's a funny one, but Emily in Paris. It's not actually like, I didn't really watch it for the plot. Like, sorry to anyone who actually loves the show, but I think like it's just really beautiful cinematography and fashion. So I think like for a crisp spring cleaning day or something, like it's really fun to feel put together, like when you have Emily in Paris on in the background or something. So that's just a silly one. Yeah. And then biggest pet peeve. This also could go in the next category, which is about like relationships and like friendships and stuff like that. Biggest pet peeve. I don't have really any pet peeves that are like you chew too loudly or you make these noises, like I kind of just will joke about them or make comments about them, but it doesn't actually like annoy the heck out of me. This is, maybe I'm going too deeper than I need to be with this question, but I would say a pet peeve would be when somebody is not genuine, like tries to be someone, like you can tell that they're trying to be somebody. And, not every conversation has to be super deep and you're getting into all the weeds about your life. Like, that's not it. But I think, some conversations will have to be small talk and more surface level, and that's totally fine. Like, that sometimes the occasion calls for that, or you don't have a lot of time. But I think it's more so like you can see it in their body language or in their eyes, and like they're just trying to seem like they're trying to seem like somebody that they're not, or they're talking a lot more about themselves or not really trying to get to know you. I'm not really sure. But I guess that would be my pet peeve. And I'm not claiming that I can see through everybody. Like, I definitely can't, but I just sometimes can get the feeling like someone doesn't want to genuinely get to know me and they're just trying to show me who they are, maybe. Like the first time I meet them. So sometimes that can be a little bit of a pet peeve, not to get too deep. Let's get into, some of the friendship and relationship ones. What makes someone a good friend? Ooh, that's a good question. I think friendships have seasons, and that can be really tough because you can have a really close friend, but then maybe for 1 year you truly aren't in each other's lives a lot. Just truly because it is really tiring and really stressful and you don't live near each other. But you very well may, like, I think what can either make or break that friendship in the long term is if someone takes that personally, right? Like, it could be a year of just some downtime in that friendship. But if neither of you take it very seriously, or if you both acknowledge, like, wow, like, we both had tough years, we didn't really keep in contact, but not taking it as an offense, then, like, maybe in the next season of life, like, one of you is going through something and like suddenly you're back in each other's lives in a way that you've never been before. Like, it's richer than it's even been in the past, and you want to give that friendship that opportunity to do that. So I think maybe like what makes a good friendship really is like not taking things personally and not getting offended, and also having open communication. But that can be hard. That can be really hard. And especially as you're growing up and you're going through different things in life, that can be tough. But I think I've had to learn, like, I have to let go of control of some of my friendships. Like, when I think of someone, hey, contact them, sure. Maybe someone I haven't talked to in a long time and you can catch up over a call. But like, if you're stressing over who are my friends, like, are we staying in contact as much as we want to, and then getting stressed and anxious about it, like, then when you reach out and you keep reaching out and you get offended that they're not reaching out as much, that's where it's like you're trying to take control. The other person's getting like a weird feeling. You don't want to force a friendship, right? And I don't think it's necessarily like not all people are meant for each other, but I definitely do think like not all seasons will various friendships won't thrive through every season, right? Maybe one or two truly will, like through your every season and your entire life. But yeah, so that's my answer to that one. Do you believe in soulmates? Long answer short, no. Hopefully that's not controversial. But I purely think that's because, like, you can get along with a lot of people. Like, just like you have a lot of friends. Like, I think a romantic partner, like, as long as you're both committed to one another, and we hear this a lot, but like a lot of times love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. And so even if you have fallen in love with someone, if you don't choose to continuously love the other person, make sacrifices, make that commitment, and be faithful and loyal, like that isn't good. That relationship isn't going to work out, right? So it's not just about pure romantic love, and so, but also not everyone, like it's also not like, oh, well, anyone can be with anyone. That's also not the case, right? Like there is physical attraction, emotional attraction, and building relationships and circumstances too. You just end up at the same school, you end up at the same job and stuff like that. However, I will say, like, I think you can have a really strong connection with somebody, but that can come from years of fostering that relationship and growing your care for each other. And that just intensifies your love for each other and your desire to sacrifice for one another and go through the pain because you love that person. And that can feel like, oh, wow, that is my soulmate. And I think maybe that's why we're led to think, oh, maybe we do have soulmates. But I do think like that is coming from years of some hardship and challenges and good times, memories, and it does take a lot to build a really strong and healthy relationship. So yeah, maybe yes and no to that question for me. A couple more questions here. So what's my love language? I think my top love language is quality time. Like, nothing beats a long walk with my friends or just chatting over ice cream, going to the movies together. Like, spending time together is number one for me. Yeah, I don't think anything beats that. And then physical touch for sure, like with David or with my friends, like, I mean, especially with my friends, like we're very huggy and like put your hand on the other person's arm or shoulder when they're not doing well. So like I think there is a lot of comfort to be found in like someone's physical presence, which obviously made COVID hard, right? And so like I think a lot of times now when I'm in the physical presence of others, like I think it's because during COVID, there was like one time where I met in person with friends and I was like, Emily, you can't ever take this for granted ever again in your life. And it really cemented into my mind to the point where like even now, like what is it, like 4 years later since the end of COVID, like I'm still thinking those thoughts of, wow, I can't take this for granted. Like my best friend is here right next to me and hugging me and we're talking and chatting away for hours and we couldn't do this during COVID. And so I think it's still subconscious. Like I'm always being like, wow, I'm so grateful to be here. So, and then I think gifts, the other ones are a little bit less. I think, yeah, quality time and physical touch are definitely number one. This is interesting. What's harder, making friends or keeping them? I think this actually does go along the same strand of what I was talking about earlier. Definitely keeping them. Well, it depends on your personality, right? I think some people are, not as extroverted. However, when they do become friends with someone, like they're friends for life, like they're keeping in contact. And so I do admire those people. I think then for people maybe who are more extroverted and get along with everyone, like it's easy peasy to just like, meet someone in a new group at a party and get along. And then they say, hey, hey, we really clicked. Like, let's get a meal some other time. Let's go grab coffee. And then it just never happens. So I think like having a commitment to a friendship, and then with your really close ones and deep ones, like I think my motto is every relationship and friendship takes work and takes building, and that's a really beautiful thing. I'm going to end on just some of the other lifestyle questions that I skipped just for the sake of not making a video that's too long, but here I am coming back to them. I just wanted to end on a little bit of a lighter note and just like some fun things. So, what is my comfort food? I think it's changed a lot over the years, but I think in this current year of life, unfortunately, it's ramen. But like, not just like soupy ramen. Like I love, it's just the classic Korean ramens. I'm not even Korean, but I'm Chinese. But like buldak, Shin ramen. What else? Thai food. I had really never had Thai food. Well, I had some Thai food in college. There were a couple Thai places in town. But in New York, that's where I really got into Thai food and some Vietnamese food too, like other types of Asian cuisines. Like I think before I'd really only dabbled in like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, but or not even. Like mostly obviously Chinese. I loved sushi. And then I got more into Korean when I met college friends who were Korean. But like I don't have a lot of like Thai friends or Vietnamese friends. So those were new cuisines for me after I moved to the city. And like, if you guys live in the city, go to Mitr Thai, like MITR Thai. It's in near Rockefeller Center, which is where I worked. I think some coworkers introduced it to me, but like the first bite of their pad see ew is magical. Like I don't know what they add into it, but it doesn't taste like normal Thai food, like or just like classic Thai food. They add something extra that just makes it an extreme culinary experience. Yeah, so I as you can tell, I love noodles. I think just growing up, I don't know why, like even when I was a toddler, like I think my parents said I would always say like I would just ask for noodles all the time. And that continues to be the case. So yeah, ramen, Thai, pho, things like that. I think those are probably my go-to comfort foods. And funnily enough, like as much as I care about authentic Chinese food, I actually love a good like takeout lo mein, like just give me that greasy, they add a lot of sugar, high sodium, like whatever. And then last question, what would a perfect day be for me? And this is easy. I just right off the top of my mind. I think like a combination of like the ocean, like some really beautiful ocean, like salt on the skin, salty hair, but like also like an active beach day, not just sitting on the beach. Like you're walking around, you're jumping waves, or you're playing a sport on the sand, or you're walking to go get ice cream or lunch and bring it back. Like I like to feel like I'm tired out by the end of the day. So yeah, good sun, salty air, and then taking a good shower, and then like a good moisturizer, a cute outfit, or maybe not even a cute outfit, like maybe cozy night, like maybe like movie and like comfort food and ice cream sundaes, or I don't even know, like frozen yogurt. Like I think I like a mix of like go out, get in the sun, be active, and then just like cozy. Like maybe my ideal day isn't even going out for a nice dinner. Like it's just like be with your closest people to you and like be cozy or chat the night away and just be in your hoodie. Like nothing beats like a hoodie and like over your like beach sun body, like it's just so cozy. Anyways, I could talk for hours. And even though I made this strawberry lime Kool-Aid for myself, I didn't even take any sips during that. I've just been yapping. So maybe you're bored. Maybe you didn't make it to the end of this video. I don't even know if this is still recording. I hope so. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video, if you had fun listening to it, if you're interested in what I have to say at all. And again, like if you have any specific questions about my life or about any random topics, yeah, either put them in the comment section or send them over to me if you have my number and you're my friend, or even on Instagram or any of my social media. So, yeah, love you guys, and maybe I'll see you soon.